I got my first coding job 4 months after writing my first line of code. It was a lot of hard work, but there were a few things I did that helped me learn so fast. I didn't have a degree or boot camp, so this is what I used instead. The first thing I did was make it fun. Learning to code is a long process. Unless you're some genius, the bare minimum time it takes is 4 months. If you don't find a way to enjoy it, you're probably not going to make it. Here's a few things that I did to make it fun. First, I listened to lo-fi. It got me in a relaxed vibe, ready to learn. I also built projects I thought were cool. It took a little more time than following courses, but it kept me engaged and I learned a lot doing it. Something simple I did was light incense or candles. It just switches up the vibe a bit. Candles are a little bit more expensive, but you can get incense dirt cheap. If it's decent weather, you can code outside. I'd spend most nights 8 to midnight doing that. And to this day, that's the most fun I've had coding. A little hack I did I probably want to do again is watch TV shows while I coded. This is something I would do when I was building a project and I already knew most of what I needed to do. Definitely not recommended if you're learning a completely new concept because it can be hard to pay attention. A good thing about coding is you don't need an amazing computer. At the time, I had a gaming laptop, so I used that. If I had to start over today and needed a laptop, I'd save up $500 to $600 and get a certified refurbished MacBook from Amazon. I've had both Windows and Macs, and I like Macs better. As long as it has decent performance and you don't have to wait all day for your code to compile, it doesn't really matter. If you are finding yourself waiting all day for your code to work, consider resetting your computer or saving up for a new one. Once you have your computer in place, you're ready to dive in. If you spend time learning stuff you don't need, it can slow you down and leave you feeling confused. I followed a Udemy course and it showed me exactly what to learn. But knowing what I know now, this is the exact order I'd learn it. I won't go too in depth here, but these are the basics. HTML is a simple programming language that puts elements on the browser. You can learn that in just a few days. CSS then tells the browser what your HTML should look like. So if you want this button to be red, you just give it background color red in your CSS. Flexbox is part of CSS and, in my opinion, the most important part. It makes it easy to position your HTML. So if you want to create a list of elements, you put them inside a container with display flex and flex direction column. HTML and CSS will allow you to style your web page however you want. From there, we get to the meat of coding on the web. That's right, JavaScript. JavaScript tells your browser what your HTML should do. So if we want to show this list when a user clicks the button, we use JavaScript. JavaScript is larger than HTML and CSS, and it took me about a month to be able to use. Those are the basics of the front end of your application. What someone sees when they go to your site. Now for the back end. PostgreSQL is a database, and we're going to use it to store information about our users. The main concepts are tables, columns, rows, and foreign keys. Let's use this blog for example. We need a table for author and blog post. Blog post needs columns ID, title, content, and author, which foreign keys to our author table. Then, when we add a new author or blog post, it shows up as a row in the right table. That's all you need to know at the start. AI can write the actual code for you. AI is actually really good for that, and I use it all the time. Next is Node and Express. You use this to A, verify your users are who they say they are, and B, communicate with your database. It works a lot like a concert. If you're going to a concert, you buy a ticket. Once you have that ticket, you can show it to the person at the entrance and they let you in. In code, a user buys a ticket by logging into your site, and then you send them back a token. The only difference is the user doesn't hold onto the token. You do that for them using something called cookies. Then when the user wants some info, like order history on Amazon, you send that request to your server and it checks their ticket to make sure it's them. And if it is them, it goes to your database, gets the order history, and sends it back. That's just a brief overview, and to get good at it, it takes a lot of time. Another thing that helped me learn fast was typing speed. I type about 70 words per minute, which isn't super fast, but it was quick enough. If you have to hunt and peck to build your apps, it's going to make it boring and take a lot longer. If you want to learn to type fast, I recommend typing.com. Go through their courses an hour a day, and in about a month, typing will feel much better. I personally learned typing in high school, so I didn't have to spend time on this. But if you want to learn fast, it makes a big difference. Like it or not, it's going to take a lot of time to learn to code. Before you start, I recommend you copy this free spreadsheet I have to track your progress. The biggest reason people learn slow is they're inconsistent. And it's easy to stay consistent if you track how long you spend learning. All you do is enter the date and time you spent each day. It will let you know the total hours you've spent. For the first 30 hours, you're probably going to need to be disciplined. It's not going to be fun because you're not good at it yet. I try not to judge myself until I've spent at least 30 hours, because how could you be good at anything before then? Sometimes after about 100 hours, I stop recording the time I spent. By then, I'm usually good enough where it starts to be fun, and I'll do it without as much discipline. The good thing is, it takes zero discipline to watch this video, which reveals exactly what you need to do to get your first coding job.